Hollywood is being rebuilt by artists not afraid to disrupt the status quo. Telling fresh stories and bringing to life characters who until now have been confined to the margins. This is Emerging Hollywood.
You know, I'm sure it's hard enough, right, to get things done as an Asian American writer, right? But you connect with another minority, you and Aziz, and y'all try to get a whole show sold. Did you ever have any reservations about that?
I just was like, man, this guy is so talented. He has such a strong point of view. He works harder than anyone I know. I have a strong work ethic. I go crazy. And like on that show, I was like, oh, this guy and me, like we really connected. And we were friends. We didn't think twice. You know, he came into my office and was like, let's do a show together. And we're just talking about it as Parks was winding down. And we're like, we want it to be in New York and we want to do 10 episodes a year, not like 30 episodes or something. So
when you and Aziz were creating the show, what did you want to say about the lives of the characters?
Well, we just wanted to be authentic to our experience, you know? We didn't go in with a message like, this is what we want to say about Indian people, Asian people. It's more like, what are we going through? When we sit down at dinner, what are we talking about? And then you go from there. And I feel like when stuff has that kernel of emotional truth, it starts to resonate with people.
What do you do when you put together a writer's room and you have diversity there, but the diverse people aren't really that good? What do you do?
That's a sticky situation, right? Well, you got to hire the best people, man. You got to hire the best people. And that's a tough thing. And ideally, you find people who are totally different from you and are better than you. That's the goal, right?
Yeah. How did you connect with Jay-Z to direct the Moonlight video?
I got a call from my agent, and they're like, are you in LA right now? I'm like, yeah, I'm getting on a flight in 4 hours or something. They're like, would you want to meet with Jay-Z in the next like 2 hours? I'm like, yeah, let's do it. So he had this video going. He ended up being his manager at that meeting, and then I met him later. But they're like, let's play you the song. I was like, okay. And just like me listening to this song, Moonlight, over the phone for 30 seconds. Mm-hmm. And then she's like, all right, what do you got? I was like, can I get 24 hours? Yeah. Can I get some time? She's like, okay, 24 hours. And so I had two ideas, and the crazier one was the one we ended up going with, which is
taking this very white show, Friends.
Let's do a shot-for-shot remake of an entire episode of Friends and just have an all-black cast. And then he was kind of like, hey, tell me about Friends. Like, I don't know that much about Friends. I'm like, believe me, it's a show that white people love. Like, it was the show. And to me, it was representative of the monoculture of the 90s and the way that you couldn't escape that. And there's pros and cons, but one of the cons was there's no one who looks like us on that show for 11 seasons or whatever. You know, it was so crazy. And so it was funny. I actually did a roundtable for the Hollywood Reporter, I think, and another person at the roundtable was Marta Kaufman, who created Friends. And I had this secret that I was about to shoot this video in 2 days, and I didn't tell her, obviously. But
are there any comparisons to be made between like the experiences of black artists and Asian artists in Hollywood?
Yeah. I think it's a marginalization thing too, and often in opposite ways in terms of the genders. Asian men have generally been emasculated, right, demasculinized, and historically, black men have often been over-sexualized. Ooh. The reverse, so it's been the reverse. And similarly, Asian women have been over-sexualized, and black women have been desexualized. And they were literally taking out of movies. There's a movie called Romeo Must Die with Jet Li and Aaliyah, and they had a scene where they kiss, and they cut it out of the movie. And it's just that is part of the sort of systematic demasculinization, if that's a word, I don't know if it is, but demasculinization of the Asian American male. Culture affects how we behave. Absolutely. Because the people who are least responded to on dating apps are Asian men and black women.
Well, that leaves more sisters for the Asian men if they really pay attention. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let's talk about the Asian experience. Has whitewashing finally stopped when it comes to Asian characters?
I would never say it's stopped. Every time you think it's stopped, they do it again. So, it's really the most disappointing when there are characters that are based on Asian characters and they still don't give it to an Asian actor, because if you're not going to give us that, we're not getting the normal shit either. So when are we going to start, So it is frustrating, but that's why it's really important that there are Asian people behind the scenes, behind the camera, writing, show running, directing, and also Asian people who are executives, who are greenlighting these movies.
Does Hollywood care when y'all complain? Do they hear y'all?
That's a good question, man. We had a scene in Master Known about that season 1, and it was kind of like about how Asian and Indian people don't really have a voice, and that's changing over time. I mean, we're gaining a little bit of ground, we're gaining a little bit of steam, but look, we're behind. We're just starting. We're just babies. We're infants right now. So, we don't expect the same representation yet, but we're getting there and we're building on it,
Have you ever had a white person complain about you writing for them?
Hasn't come up yet. I guess they're very tolerant. No, not really. Not really. Kenya Barris, who created Blackish, said something interesting to me once. He said, we don't get the reverse criticism very often because you learned their culture. Like, I feel like I know a lot about white culture. I saw a lot of white culture. So I don't think a lot of white people saw a lot of Asian American culture necessarily unless they were specifically exposed to it for some reason.
Yeah, because as minorities, we're forced to know about them, but they're not necessarily forced to know about us.
You gotta know about it. Yeah.
For survival almost a lot of times.
Man.
Yeah. But it's a money thing too, right? Like these Hollywood types are like, look, it's just not a lot of Asians here. I would rather cater to this other demo because there's just more of them, right? You don't think so?
Yeah, there's not a lot of guys who look like The Rock. Like, how many Samoans are in America? He's making money. He's making money. It's a special person. That's what it is. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm going to watch The Rock whether or not I look like him.
So what do you do? Like get an Asian guy and put him in the gym, put him on some steroids?
Yeah, man, make a star. Make a star. Yeah, right? Like, give me one. That's what, you know what I mean? It's like, by the way, you're not doing anyone any favors if you put someone in the movie and they're not ready. Aziz and I talked about before, you can't just give people shows because if it's bad, it doesn't do us any favors. It's got to be great. Our goal really was like, let's make this show the best show that it can be and one of the better shows out there because that's when it starts to really move the needle.
Yeah, don't give me diversity for the sake of diversity. Give me diversity because it's good. Because the truth of the matter is when it's really good, you forget what you're even watching or who you're watching it about.
You know, you watch Mad Men, it's like, it's really good. So we got to make a show that's really good. That's really good. You got to live up to that. That's really high standard, you know? So you got to work as hard as you can. You got to be ready. And you got to really, really kill yourself to make it up to the standard.
For more episodes of Emerging Hollywood, subscribe to The Hollywood Reporter on YouTube.